Dame Katherine Patricia Routledge, born on February 17, 1929, and passing away on October 3, 2025, was more than an actress, comedian, and singer. She was a force of nature, a woman whose vibrant artistry touched hearts and drew laughter across generations. Best remembered as the indomitable Hyacinth Bucket in the beloved BBC sitcom Keeping Up Appearances, 1990 to 1995, Patricia became a household name, her performance so iconic that it earned her 2 BAFTA nominations and eternal adoration from fans who saw in her a delightful mixture of wit, mischief, and brilliance. Dame had an estimated net worth of $2.5 million at the time of her death. Early life, seeds of a performer. Patricia was born in Tranmere, Birkenhead, Cheshire, on February 17, 1929, into a modest but loving family. Her father worked as a haberdasher and gentleman's outfitter, instilling in her a respect for hard work and precision. She attended Birkenhead High School before moving on to the University of Liverpool, where she earned her degree with honors in English language and literature. It was there, amidst dusty books and academic debates, that her spark for drama grew into a flame. In the university's dramatic society, she found herself thriving, mentored by Edmund College, a man who saw in her not just talent, but a destiny. His encouragement convinced her to embrace the stage fully, a decision that would change her life and the lives of countless audiences. After training at the Bristol Old Vic Theatre School, she stepped confidently into the world of acting, beginning her professional journey at the Liverpool Playhouse in 1952. Theatre, a voice that filled the stage. Patricia's theatrical career was vast and illustrious. A mezzo-soprano with a contralto range, she enchanted audiences in the United Kingdom and the United States alike. A long-standing member of the Royal Shakespeare Company, she lent her voice and presence to productions that have become legendary, including the 1984 Richard III alongside Anthony Sher. Her West End appearances were many and varied. Little Mary Sunshine, Noise is Off, The Importance of Being Earnest, and The Solid Gold Cadillac among them. In 1979, she earned an Olivier nomination for And Nightingale Sang, proof of her ability to move audiences with both comedy and pathos. But it was her musical theater work that captured the world's attention. In 1968, she won the Tony Award for Best Actress in a Musical for Darling of the Day, her Broadway debut cementing her reputation as a dazzling talent. In 1988, she would again triumph, winning the Olivier Award for her unforgettable performance in Leonard Bernstein's Candide. Critics marveled at her ability to deliver lines with both hilarity and poignancy, stopping shows with a presence that was at once commanding and intimate. She would go on to play roles ranging from Nettie Fowler in Carousel to Dame Laurenia McLaughlin in The Best of Friends. Even later in life, she continued to grace the stage, touring with Facing the Music, a show reflecting on her rich career. Her artistry was never just about performance, it was about connection, drawing her audiences into a shared moment of humanity. Film and television, bringing characters to life. While her stage work brought her awards, her film and television roles brought her into living rooms across the globe. Her early screen appearances included To Sir with Love, 1967, and Don't Raise the Bridge, Lower the River, 1968. Television, however, became her truest platform. In the 1980s, she worked with Alan Bennett and Victoria Wood, performing monologues that revealed the full depth of her craft. Her performance in Talking Heads, A Lady of Letters, 1988, earned her a BAFTA nomination, showcasing her ability to breathe raw humanity into a single character on screen. In 1990, she took on the role of Hetty Wainthropp in Hetty Wainthropp Investigates, a role that proved her versatility. Younger co-star Dominic Monaghan later praised her as a teacher and mentor, crediting her with lessons that shaped his own Hollywood career. But her crowning television achievement came as Hyacinth Bucket in Keeping Up Appearances. From 1990 to 1995, she embodied the character with such brilliance that Hyacinth became one of the most beloved figures in British comedy. The pretentious yet oddly endearing woman who insisted her name be pronounced Bouquet gave Patricia an arena to flex her comedic genius. With candlelight suppers and social climbing disasters, she made millions laugh and think about the absurdities of human nature. The British Comedy Award she won and her BAFTA nominations spoke to her excellence, but it was the adoration of audiences worldwide that sealed her legacy. Even decades later, reruns of the show still sparkle with her unmatched charm. Patricia herself confessed she delighted in playing Hyacinth precisely because she couldn't stand people like her in real life, a sign of her sharp insight and her ability to turn satire into timeless joy. Radio, music, and audiobooks, a distinctive voice. Patricia's talents extended far beyond the stage and screen. With her distinctive voice, she became a fixture in radio dramas, including Alan Bennett's works and the long-running Ladies of Letters, where she and Prunella Scales created a charming portrait of friendship and wit. Her readings of classics such as Wuthering Heights and Alice's Adventures in Wonderland introduced her artistry to new generations, proving that even in solitude, her voice could paint entire worlds. Personal life, a woman of faith and devotion. Patricia never married and had no children, but she lived a life rich with friendships, faith, and purpose. In her own words, she hadn't deliberately chosen to forego marriage. Life had simply taken her elsewhere, consumed by her devotion to her craft. She spoke candidly of two meaningful relationships in her youth, but her true marriage seemed to be to the stage and her audiences. From 2000 onward, she made her home in Chichester, West Sussex, where she became a beloved member of the community. A regular worshipper at Chichester Cathedral, she supported its restoration and lent her time and name to causes close to her heart, including the Beatrix Potter Society, Theatre by the Lake, and the Royal Voluntary Service. She was also a close friend of Betty Boothroyd, the former Speaker of the House of Commons, and her rendition of Climb Every Mountain was poignantly played at Boothroyd's funeral in 2023. Patricia gave not just her voice, but her soul to the people and causes she loved. Honors and recognition. Patricia's contributions to theater and charity were widely recognized. She was appointed OB in 1993, CBE in 2004, and finally DB in 2017, becoming Dame Patricia Routledge, a title that reflected not only her professional achievements, but her humanity. Universities across the UK awarded her honorary degrees, celebrating her immense influence on theater and television. In 2022, the Royal Academy of Music bestowed honorary membership upon her, further acknowledging her lasting impact. And in January 2025, the Wirral, where she was born, granted her the freedom of the borough, a fitting tribute to the daughter who brought them pride and honor. Final days and passing. On October 3, 2025, Patricia slipped away peacefully in her sleep in Chichester, at the age of 96. The announcement of her passing was met with a flood of tributes, not only from her fans but from peers who had known her brilliance firsthand. BBC director of comedy John Petrie described her as an actress of remarkable range, praising her role as Hyacinth as one of the most iconic performances in British comedy. Roy Clark, creator of Keeping Up Appearances, reflected on the fortune of having his words brought to life by such a gifted actor. For millions, the news was like losing a dear friend, someone who had made them laugh on dreary evenings, who had brought color and sparkle into their homes, and who had reminded them of the joy of living. Legacy of a Dame. Patricia Routledge's legacy is one of joy, artistry, and devotion. She may have left the stage, but the characters she brought to life remain immortal. Hyacinth with her flowers and aspirations, Hetty with her grit, and countless others who carried her spirit. She was an actress who could make audiences laugh until they cried, and cry until they laughed again. She was a singer whose voice soared through theaters and lingered in hearts. She was a woman who gave herself wholly to her craft, and in doing so, gave herself to the world. Her net worth, estimated at $2.5 million, was modest compared to the wealth of love and admiration she carried from those she entertained. Money was never the measure of Patricia Routledge. It was the laughter, the tears, the applause, and the enduring affection that defined her. At 96, she left behind not just a body of work, but a legacy of humanity wrapped in humor and grace. Her story is not one of an actress alone, but of a woman who lived fully, with dignity, generosity, and sparkle. And so we say farewell to Dame Patricia Routledge, not with sorrow alone, but with gratitude. For the laughter, the music, and the unforgettable characters, we thank her. For the legacy of warmth and wit, we celebrate her. And for the reminder that life, no matter how fleeting, can be filled with grace, we remember her with love. Rest in power, Patricia Routledge.